Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Amar Atma Singh Khalsa, and I serve as a chaplain for Banner University Medical Center, Phoenix. So I work very interdisciplinary with the hospital team. I work with nurses, I work with doctors, I work alongside with them as a specialist in emotional and spiritual care. You know, I grew up in America. I was born in Canada, and in California, where I was raised, it was really difficult for me to understand what Sikhi was. I had gone to a lot of Punjabi camps, but I didn't speak Punjabi, and I was more wanting to assimilate and fit into our kind of Western American lifestyle. It was really awkward for me growing up in America. But you know, somehow in that process, something really changed in me, like when I cut my hair, and I didn't realize it until many years later, that I felt like that ponytail that was snipped was not just the end of my cultural identity as a Sikh, but also maybe a cutaway of my innocence. It was like a part of me, a limb of my body was cut away. And it kind of spawned me into like this really intense existential crisis during my adolescence. I felt really disconnected from the world and went through some really dark places. Things were not right. I barely made it to college. I was dropping out of school in my high school. I was not a terrible student, but I was not engaged, and I was so disconnected. And I got into some drugs, and that was a really big part of my life as well, and was really falling apart. So my early years of my undergraduate at UC Santa Cruz was not the healthiest. I was invited to the summer solstice in 2003. It was actually the Japji course that got me there. And it took me 3 days to sort of like just crack my mind. And from then on, I was sold. I went up to the solstice site and I participated in the sadhana in the mornings. I participated in a lot of seva. And one of the most impactful experiences of my initial journey in this was being able to read from the Siri Guru Granth. I had never really read from the Guru before. So my only relationship to the Guru was bowing in front of the Guru when I went to Gurudwaras just because my mom told me to do, but I had no other personal relationship. So I had like a 1 o'clock in the morning duty to be able to read from the Guru. And somehow when I had done that, and in that session, I call it a session because it was like full on counseling. Like Guru and I were talking, and he was laying out about my life and who I was and who I am, and all these areas of just speaking to my soul. Speaking to my soul. It was speaking to not my personality, not who I thought I am, not who I thought I was, but to that deeper part that was trying to blossom forth within me. And in that 1 hour session, I tell you, my whole life changed. My whole life. And I was reading in English. And when I went in there, they said, I can't read in the Akanpa because I don't read in Gurumukh. They said, no, you can read in English. I said, really? I said, yeah. And they showed me how to do it. American Sikhs, 3HO folks, taught me about the Guru. And then I went in and I started to read, and I was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. And that which I had gone to psychiatrists and counselors and went to all these like self-help events for my family to help me out during these really, really dark times of my life. And reading from the Guru was the thing that was the pinnacle of it all that totally transformed me. And then, you know, 15 years later, this is like the remarkable nature of my life. And SikhNet was a really big resource for me during that piece of time, to just getting a deeper relationship to the SikhNet radio, which was huge for me, hearing the Western mantras as well as the classic rag, and just connecting to the wholesomeness of Sikhi from very cultural, differential places, and really, really cool stuff. The element of me being a chaplain, but as a Sikh, one of few in the country who are doing hospital-based chaplaincy, was really powerful in this outward expression of not just being a chaplain, which was something relatively new for us as Sikhs, but also as a Sikh chaplain and sharing this, because it tends to be more of a Christian, maybe Catholic, maybe Jewish-based phenomenon. And because we have very few Sikhs that are coming to the hospital, I'm doing a lot of interfaith-based work. So SikhNet was like the best for me, because when anybody asked about, oh, who are you? And I said, well, I'm a Sikh. And they said, well, tell us a little bit about, you know, what your faith means. And I tell them very basically that we believe that creator and creation, creation and creator is one and the same. And we believe that to serve humanity is to serve God, and to serve God is to serve humanity. And they love that. They're like, oh, I want to learn more about Sikhism. Do you have any resources? And I'm like, yeah, SikhNet. And so that was a really helpful resource for me to be able to share about who I am, as well as educate around Sikhi as being an ambassador of our faith, ambassador of our work. I didn't experience Guru as much as I have, that when I walk into a patient's room or a family's room in a really critical situation, and I sit with them, and I have no idea what to say, and I have no idea what to do, but I've been invited into this space, and I'm like, Guru Ram Das, what are we gonna do? What is it that they need, and how can I serve them? And just witnessing, literally like witnessing me change, my energy change, my body language change, and just insight coming across and support coming the way that they need it, and it just matches. And I'm just like, oh my God, witnessing the miracle of Guru every day and relying on that. It's like, as for myself, selfishly, personally, it's like, oh my God, like I'm literally walking with Guru everywhere.
दास सुवास जगत गुरु की पारस भेंट परस करियो पारस भेंट